I was looking through the obscure OS megadoc by the Windows archival group. It was a massive document, filled with rare and forgotten operating systems, and while it mostly covered Windows variants, it also included some Linux distros. Most of it was stuff I'd seen before, like PindowsOS, but one name caught my eye: PindowsOS. There was no description, just a single download link buried in a strange URL. web.archive.org/PindowsOS. The link text was weird, too, reading download PindowsOS with random punctuation. Curiosity won out. I clicked the link, downloaded the file, set it up in VirtualBox, and booted it up. The screen flickered before a sparse desktop appeared. There was only one thing on it: a crude wallpaper with 3 roughly drawn red windows, stacked and off-kilter, with PindowsOS scrawled underneath in a shaky, childlike font. It looked strange and unsettling, almost as if it had been thrown together by someone who wanted it to look familiar but just missed the mark. At first, everything seemed normal, if not a bit eerie. The menus were mostly empty, filled with broken links and unusable applications. Then, without warning, the screen suddenly filled with a message: updating PindowsOS. The notification took over the entire display, with the blue progress bar stretching across the screen. I hadn't initiated any update, and given how old this OS was, an update didn't even make sense. But the bar started moving on its own, slowly progressing as if something had taken over. Installing PindowsOS Update 1 of 3. As the bar inched forward, the wallpaper behind it began to change. The red windows grew darker, and their lines became jagged, as though they were bleeding down the screen. The text PindowsOS warped, each letter twisting and bending as if it were being clawed into the screen by an unseen hand. I tried to stop the update, but nothing responded. My cursor was frozen, and the update screen had completely trapped me as it moved on to the next stage. Installing PindowsOS Update 2 of 3. The wallpaper twisted further, becoming something almost grotesque. The red windows now looked like deep scratches, torn into the screen, with dark stains creeping from their edges. The background itself darkened, the virtual machine's display feeling colder and more hostile. Shadows began to form in the background, indistinct figures, pressing against the cracked red windows, as if they were trying to break through. Installing PindowsOS Update 3 of 3. The update bar hit 99%, and the screen flickered violently. The wallpaper was now something out of a nightmare. The 3 red windows were smudged and distorted beyond recognition, twisted into dark, claw-like stains, with shadowy figures pressed against the screen. Their hollow eyes stared directly at me, as if they'd been waiting. Then, the screen went black, and a single line of distorted text appeared in flickering, broken letters. "You shouldn't have done that." The screen froze, the shadowy figures lingering just beyond the dark glass. My heart pounded as I forced the virtual machine to shut down, my hands shaking as I navigated back to VirtualBox. I immediately selected PindowsOS and hit the delete button, making sure to wipe all associated files. I watched as it disappeared from the list, relieved to be rid of it. I am still scarred by Pindows to this